Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Michael Zuber, one rental at a time, back with Adrian Hernandez, my Wednesday guest who gets me all fired up so I can go run 6 miles as fast as I can. How you doing, man?
I'm excited, full of energy for the call, man. Let's go. There's only one way to show up, right?
Yeah.
That's full of enthusiasm.
Absolutely. So. Yeah. Otherwise, why bother? Yeah. Life's just much more fun that way. Hey, one of the things I wanted to do is just talk about, identify, recognize common pitfalls. Maybe these are some that we've experienced. Maybe that we see people around us. But I think anytime we can go point at a pitfall, bring a story, make it memorable, we can help somebody hopefully avoid that. Or at worst, recognize it early if they happen to be going down that. I'll talk about buy and hold. You talk about flipping and wholesaling. Why don't you go first, and then we'll just bat it around like a tennis ball.
Yeah, I'll start with flipping. And I think there are two big pitfalls that we underestimate and or not think about. And the first pitfall is the time in the deal. Remember, guys, time kills all deals. The longer we are in a deal, the more you're going to pay in holding fees, the more you're going to pay in construction costs, because now you got the guys at the project longer, the more overall your budget is going to increase. So time in a deal, I believe, is the biggest number one pitfall when flipping. Second thing would be your rehab cost. I don't know how many people underestimate their rehab costs, or they go all in with all the cash they have thinking that rehab's only 50 grand, only for them to discover that they need to redo plumbing. And now that 50 is now 65 and they have to find a way to come up with that cash. On flipping, those have been the two biggest pitfalls that I've seen.
Yeah. So if I was going to hit up buy and hold, the first thing I will go to is, I'll just say the way it is. People get enamored with cheap, right? They live in an expensive part of the world and they see some other part of the world that's cheaper. I cannot tell you how many times I've heard somebody say, I can buy a house for less than the cost of my car. Well, that might be an accurate statement, but that doesn't make it a good deal. I have seen plenty of people go broke with cheap. And cheap is the wrong answer. It's like, now if it produces a high yield and this, that, the other, it's a different conversation. But simply telling me that, I'm rolling up in an $80,000 Tesla and I can go buy 2 40K houses in Ohio, it must be a good deal. No, that's not a true story. So that's number one. Number two is too many people don't appreciate debt. I just had this conversation with Matt, the mortgage guy, who's a Wednesday guest. And I equate debt to a chainsaw. Chainsaw is an amazing tool that when used correctly, you can do amazing things with. However, if you haven't had training, don't understand the safety, pick up the chainsaw when you're drunk, don't know how to cut a tree down, even if you use the chainsaw correctly, maybe you cut the tree down wrong, it can kill you. And I don't think people appreciate debt. There's too many people, too many new investors that get nominated with infinite return. That's the new buzzword. I got an infinite return because I birthed this project and I took all my money out. I got an infinite return because I used my credit card for the down payment. Folks, I've been doing this a long time. Zero down deals are certainly possible. I've done them. But most new investors, you are not going to get into a deal that is a good zero down deal the first time. It takes time, experience, negotiations. So debt, people don't appreciate debt. And then the other avenue of that is the Dave Ramsey's. They're just totally anti-debt. I have to tell you, I owe millions of dollars in debt, and I would not be financially free without effectively using it. So debt is a chainsaw. It can kill you, or it can help you do amazing things. Appreciate it, respect it, stay sharp, keep understanding. Like I just spent the last year taking my debt structure down, right? And why do I do that? Well, my cash flow goes up, right? I want to lock in 30-year money. Dude, Adrian, a commercial paper is 5, 7, or 10 years. I did a refinance of an apartment building and paying 4.99% fixed for 30 years. Why? Because I'm afraid of where rates will be in 2025, 2026. It's higher than I could get a 3.5, 3.25. but I'll pay 4.99 because it's 30-year fixed. I do not want risk. It cash flows at 4.99. I'm good. I want to take, 6.5, 7. I want to take that stuff off the table. So again, that's what I think about buy and hold.
That's so big. I know so many people that are scared of debt, right? And it explains a lot. And then I know people that overuse.
Yeah, it's just over.
It's interesting that you say that. And I love that analogy of the chainsaw. That's so spot on, right? You can have it chop off your leg, or you can have it build you a house.
Exactly. One of the two.
Yeah. So good. I love it. Love it. That's some good takeaways right there.
There you go. You want to talk about wholesaling?
Pitfalls for wholesale. And I'm going to combine this with real estate agents, because as I was thinking about this, it kind of goes hand in hand. For a real estate agent or a wholesaler, I think the number one pitfall that I see is that you only stick to working with buyers and sellers.
Ooh,
That's the only way you earn your income. There's no other income source. And then for wholesalers, all you do is wholesale. You're not using those leads to convert into listings. You're not taking those leads and buying them yourself, right? Talks about.
Yeah, go see video 1.
Yeah, seriously. And I'm hoping my subconscious mind is listening to what I'm saying, right? So I think that's the biggest pitfall, is the fact that we stay stuck. We stay stuck working with buyers and sellers. We stay stuck only doing wholesale deals. And we never broaden our business. We never increase the amount of money funnels that we have in our business, right? So like for real estate agents, it's just 2. I would encourage you to get 4, 5, right?
There you go.
Something to think about. That's the pitfall number 1. And then the second pitfall, right, for real estate agents and wholesalers, is they take their earnings. And I'm not talking about rental property. I'm talking about business. They take their earnings and they go and blow it on a bunch of dumb shit. They don't reinvest that money back into their business. We have to remember that the bloodline of all businesses is marketing.
Yeah.
And unless we are taking that money and reinvesting back into marketing to get more business from the business that we just generated, you are going to do the same thing over and over. You're going to be stuck at the same amount of transactions over and over again. And you're going to be wondering why you never got anywhere. You never got anywhere because you took that money and went to fancy restaurants versus taking that money and putting it back into some sort of marketing that's going to fuel your business.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Some of the best investors I know, the best investor in Fresno, Jason, shout out to Jason. He has been doing mailers for 5 years straight. People wonder how he continually finds deals in these crazy hot markets. Is because he's having people call him after, I got that mailer 2 years ago and I saved it because I knew someday.
Yep.
Marketing, baby. Jason is who he is because of marketing. And he's a nice guy and really good at what he does and all of that. But marketing is his superpower.
Let's combine marketing to your last point on us not wanting debt.
Yeah.
The reason, you guys, debt can be healthy in marketing also. Like we rack up our credit cards, hundreds and thousands of dollars every month on our credit cards. But we know when we do that, we know when we put that 100 grand, we're getting 300 grand back. We're getting 200 grand back. So yes, we're using debt to help us fuel it, but and then that debt is repaying us 4 or 5 times the amount.
Yeah.
Right. So just something to think about. All right. Take your money out of that savings account, guys. You're getting a 0.01% return. Come on.
Hey man, it's 0.005. Come on.
Sorry.
That is funny. Hey man, how can people follow you, get part of your world? Because you put out some amazing stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Instagram, YouTube, @Adrian Hernandez. Appreciate this, Michael. All that you do, brother. Let's go.
Thank you. You got it, man. Take care. Thanks.